How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. So it's post midterms. I'm here with the old Liberty Swine, fresh back off of his YouTube ban, fucking fresh out of the YouTube jail, fucking
Fresh out of the Kerry Lake gulag.
right, dude, fucking for cyberbullying of Katie Hobbs, apparently. I mean, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that was called campaigning for your uh person that you want to get elected. But I guess now it's called cyberbullying, according to the YouTube TOS. But either
Yeah,
way,
I thought the exact reason for the First Amendment was so you could talk shit to your government officials.
right, exactly, exactly, man. Fucking, but so we're gonna be talking a bit about what's going on with the Republican Party right now and the MAGA movement. What's going on with old Trumpsicles, Desantis, and then toward the end we're gonna get into a bit of what's going on with the third world bullshit over here in Arizona. Sound good?
Damn good show.
Right. But you know the deal, man. It's the motherfucking Liberty Bowl. So before we get into that, let's get into this.
Good.
All right, here we go. So as you guys know, DeSantis apparently fucking completely crushed it over in Florida during the midterms. Obviously fucking got reelected by a landslide and flipped some Miami-Dade County, some of those notoriously blue counties, and pretty much turned the entire state of Arizona fucking crimson red. And rather
Sure.
rather than I guess give it a little while and go ahead and congratulate your party. Old Trump schools goes ahead and straight on the offensive, almost like it's fucking immediately campaigning for fucking 2024. And so essentially we're going to be talking about what's going on with the Republican Party, going forward within the next 2 years, and what's going on with the MAGA movement. So what's your take on this situation there?
Well, obviously, I don't think it was the time to try to attack, DeSantis. I think he should have went more for the guy's support rather than anything else. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got someone that is successful as DeSantis had been in his state, and as much as he's been on the America First movement, that would be number one on your team, number one draft pick, right?
All right.
Trump's obviously wanting to go the opposite way, and I think that it's wrong move to go because it's playing into the media's hands as far as they want the divide in the GOP. What should have been a divide in the left and made them reevaluate themselves and their party, which would have been the red tide, turned into let's make the GOP fight amongst themselves, basically. And it seems like a lot of people are starting to fall for it already, man, and we're 2 years out.
Right. Yep. So a lot of the more well-known shows out there, the Tim Pools, the fucking the Crowders, the Bonginos, the fucking the Anomalies, fucking everyone's looks like that it's starting to draw lines. Fucking Sticks, Salty, everyone. It seems like lines are getting drawn, and the obvious answer is it's an obvious fucking ploy for infighting. I don't know if you want to so much call it a ploy. I mean, I guess you could call it a ploy just from the fact that it essentially was a Republican victory during the midterms. We just haven't quite been able to celebrate it as a victory yet because the final remaining results have not gotten in yet, and it's obviously infuriating. So essentially, they kind of stole that whole win from us, and essentially it seems like the Republican Party is kind of demoralized, right now, and that's obviously leading to a bit of a split. But of course, Trump coming out and antagonizing straight out of the gate went completely unnecessarily. I mean, it started with the DeSanctimonious, and then now that everyone is over here celebrating the big win for Ron DeSantis, he's taken that almost as an insult.
Yeah, his answer to that was, well, I got a million more votes in Florida than Trump did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I mean, what does that mean? That's a federal election.
Right.
He killed it in a state election, turned a notoriously blue area red, and basically took Florida out of play for the Democrats for 2024. I mean, the dude did exactly what Trump needed him to do. And, I don't know. And even the divide, I think it also falls on whether, the side believes that the Republicans failed or whether they won. And I'm in the camp that, the right won, maybe not to the extent that some people would have liked to have seen.
Right.
But, the Republicans now control the purse strings.
Exactly.
We'll see what they do with it. You know what I mean? But it could stifle all of Biden's next moves, basically.
Right. Yep. If there's one thing that the Republicans are known for doing when they get the power, it's nothing. Nothing at all. So we're gonna see how these next 2 years are gonna go. I mean, obviously Biden is already saying he has no intention of changing direction whatsoever, even though the vast majority, I think it's 3/4 of the nation, say that we are on the wrong track right now. He has no intention whatsoever of shifting gears, going in any other direction, and we're just really gonna have to kind of see how that plays out. Yeah, it's going to be a interesting 2 years, to say the least.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of fighting. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighting as far as on C-SPAN.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the chambers. I'm sure it's going to get a little more entertaining. Something though that I got to ask you, as far as like Sticks, for instance. Like you mentioned, he was saying he'll abandon the GOP if it's back to business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really see DeSantis as business as usual, though?
I mean, not so much. I mean, obviously he's not necessarily the a MAGA candidate per se. I mean, of course, he did get the Trump endorsement, which did kind of push him over the edge to winning the governor's seat in the first place. But ultimately, he is, America first, but it seems like his message is essentially the anti-woke, just pretty much end woke. And I mean, I'm on board with that. I'm also, ultimately fucking on board with the America First movement. We definitely, clearly need to ramp up, domestic production. We clearly need to fucking, essentially work on our economy first before we're trying to fucking take over, take care of the rest of the world's problems. That's and I'm sure the majority of the Republican Party is on board with that, So, establishment or not, I mean, I don't know, maybe not some of those rhinos in there, some of those fucking fucking
mittens.
Cocaine fucking Mitches and the mittens and whatnots, But essentially the majority of the GOP is on the fucking America First movement,
Yeah, except for you got to question. Old Mitch, his judgment here. I mean, he threw funds that could have pushed, America First candidates over that hump, that missed by a couple of points or what have you. And he spent it to, have Republicans fight Republicans.
Right.
I mean, pretty ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, to protect Alaska from Chewbacca, basically. I mean, dude, I mean? I mean, he took millions of dollars away from candidates that actually mean something to fucking Murkowski.
Right. And Alaska is another one of those places that, still hasn't gotten all the results in, I believe, yet. But it's pretty clearly in a landslide, the fucking Republican that got the most fucking money, because essentially it was kind of basically a race of a Republican versus a Republican in Alaska, and there's fucking dollars just fucking thrown at it for whatever fucking reason, and it's kind of fucking pointless, like you said, it really could have gone to some of these other candidates that really needed the support, a bit more, the Blake Masters, fucking, I mean, honestly, fucking, I want to say Kerry Lake, but I really don't know how much more fucking Kerry Lake could have done. Like, dude, fucking Kerry Lake is literally the fucking prime candidate in America right now. Fucking, shit. I mean, next to Ron DeSantis, I'd say fucking, as per being able to handle the media, handle fucking, the people, going against her and stuff like that. Fucking, she's probably fucking the next best in the fucking, or shit, I'd say with the media, definitely the best in the country, but we haven't quite been able to see any of her policies or see her in action, obviously, yet, but you know, fingers crossed that, you know, we are going to be able to see that. But there's a lot of bullshit and, you know, fucking third world shenanigans going on here in Arizona. And we're just going to have to wait and, you know, see how that goes. You know, fucking.
And that next question with that though is, you know, luckily, you know, being here from Arizona, you've got to hear some of Carrie Lake's plans, some of her, you know, what she'd like to roll out, things she'd like to change, things she'd like to improve. Now with the DeSantis, they're already talking about this dude being a national candidate. And do you, like you just said, what do you know about his policy beyond anti-woke, man?
Right.
Beyond, you know, enforcing law.
Right.
Like, because I mean, other than that, I mean, you know, I haven't heard him, you know, speak on anything about how to increase, you know, in manufacturing or how, you know, how to bring down inflation on a national level. Nothing like that, other than the obvious.
Yeah.
You know, something that you and I would say the same.
Right.
You need to cut spending. Well, okay, there's more to it than that, though.
And I mean, you know, the obvious fucking man to put in the office to be able to get the economy back on the right track is obviously going to be Trumpsicles, you know. But you know, obviously the problem right now is that he's not as popular as the MAGA diehards really think that he is. You know what I mean? I mean, he does, like I say, he does have his diehards. You know, the Trump derangement syndrome runs deep in both sides. You know, there's people that literally will put Trump on a fucking pedestal, and literally anything that he says, you could take that as fucking gospel. And then of course there's the people, the people on the left that, you know, fucking Trump is a fucking Nazi and insurrection, you know, Trump's a Putin stooge, blah, 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 you know, fucking bullshit left and right, you know. And it's really the Trump derangement syndrome, you know, runs deep on both sides, you know.
For sure. I mean, you know, I almost got a little taste of that myself, right? I mean, I was on board, you know, from 6 months in until basically lockdowns. And that's when, you know, it made me start questioning. And ever since then, that's all I can see every time he speaks is Operation Warp Speed. You know, I saved 1 million people. I saved the world. Like, dude, like we spoke on before. Obviously, we can't say too much because of the tube, bro. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of complications going on globally as far as the rollout of those chemicals.
Yep. And then, you know, the aftermath that we're seeing with, you know, the old fucking the eye of the Pfizer, you know, the fucking the old Pfizer smiles and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
We're seeing the obvious, you know, fallout, you know, the things that's not even, you know, fucking, you know, any type of misinformation, anything like that. It's literally in your fucking face, you know. There's people coming out and every fucking, at least like once a fucking week now, you know, with some sort of fucking, you know, eye of the Pfizer going on and shit. And
story or there's another ground news clip of, you know, this athlete or you know, this activist or what have you that's dropped dead at 42 or you know 38. So you know,
and you know, and then and you know, Trump is still to this day saying that fucking the vaccines, rolling them out fucking on the fucking fly was a good idea, and he's still trying to defend it. He's still trying to defend the move and say that, you know, which obviously, you know, vaccines on the Republican side, on the right side are wildly unpopular, especially, you know, at this point in time. And he's still, you know, standing by, you know, Operation Warp Speed was the greatest thing that, you know, the greatest achievement mankind has ever achieved in the history of mankind. And, you know, I say billions and billions and billions and, you know, so many people are still alive thanks to me and this and that, you know, and it's not popular rhetoric on the right, you know. I mean,
it was almost Spanish flu.
right. Fucking, I stopped the Spanish flu from happening. Yeah. And really is it like I said, it's not popular rhetoric. And obviously over the last 2 years, he's been touring around the country, you know, doing the rallies and stuff like that. And 90
Pfizer fucking tour, dude. Pfizer world tour and shit, right?
And you know, 99% of it is either, you know, vaccines were the greatest thing, you know, of all time, you know, greatest achievement man's ever done, or you know, there's the obvious rhetoric that rings really bad with us of, you know, fucking, you know, everyone that's, you know, on drugs and everyone that sells drugs in America, you know, needs to be executed, you know, quick trial, you know, you know, all that shit. And you know, that's really like I said, just Trump's kind of got a bad ring to him right now. Like I said, he is the guy to fix the economy, to fucking come in and fucking bullshit. We're cutting this. We're stopping this. Fucking, all right, we're going to fucking cut money here. He's the guy to fucking do it, Everyone else, like he's a fucking businessman. That's what he does. He fucking makes businesses fucking run just, well. And that's essentially what America is. For better or worse.
If he got back in, he's not going to have to worry about re-election, and he's going to be on a fucking revenge, burn the motherfucking house down, fucking excursion.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It'll be 4 years of scorched earth out here, bro.
Right. And like I say, as much as we love the guy and shit like that. Trump's cool and all, but I fucking absolutely hate fucking authoritarians. I hate fucking totalitarianism. I hate fucking people that are fucking take away your freedom and say that it's for your own good and for your own safety and all this and that. Which is essentially the same thing that we get on the left and the right. It's just everybody on the left wants to do that. So
you get that same thing with DeSantis. He believes in red flag laws.
Right.
I mean, he was signed anti-Semitism. Speech laws in Israel for Florida. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a hard pick now. When you really start digging into it, it's almost like we don't have a candidate for 2024.
And that's the problem. That's the what the people that are still backing Trump to the fullest are upset about is essentially we are going back to establishment Republicans, and nobody wants that. Not a goddamn motherfucker in the world wants that. I mean, I guess fucking the Liz Cheneys and shit like that fucking want that, but essentially the people that actually give a shit about this fucking country don't want that. They don't want to go back to the Republican Party that's just gonna, oh cool, we're gonna get back in power and then everyone's just gonna sit on our hands and we're gonna sit tight. Like they don't want that back again, or they don't want the fucking, okay, we're in power, let's have a war, everybody. They don't want that either, and essentially that's what the left has become right now. The left is the straight fucking warmonger party, which ultimately I really thought that was kind of gonna resonate more with the voters, but really I guess it's just resonating more with us right now because it's, as far as people see, it's America sending money to Ukraine and shit like that, but in reality it's essentially an act of war. If we are at war with somebody and fucking one of our enemies wasn't fucking, fighting for them, but they're literally funding the entire thing, far beyond, the capabilities of the original country, then, you would see that as, I guess fucking an act of war, So essentially, they're fucking, pushing war with fucking Russia. Russia fucking has within their fucking military fucking guidelines and shit that they'll fucking blow up the goddamn earth before they fucking surrender the country. Russia is hardcore fucking, they don't fuck around over there. They're not fucking playing when they're, talking about using nukes and shit like that. It's not true story, not a joke. Those motherfuckers are crazy. That would be one reason again why I'd be back on the fucking backing Trump side, because I don't necessarily know how DeSantis could handle something, a person like Putin or fucking a person like Xi Jinping. I don't know how he could handle them diplomatically. We know that he's good at oh well, we're gonna do this policy here. We know that he's good at stopping the woke, but of course when you're the commander in chief, you're not just really, I guess, fucking focused on fucking appeasing the people of America. You really got to fucking talk your rhetoric and fucking kind of crack the whips around the world and shit.
Plus he's an ex-military guy, so I mean, ex-military in charge tend to go the violence route first, man. And breaking ground news, dude, Mark Kelly announced the winner for the Senate here in Arizona, bro.
Yeah, did you just get a notification?
Yep, just now, ground, bro.
All right. Well, it's most likely, obviously, because he's got a far enough lead that essentially the rest of the votes really isn't going to put Blake Masters past the threshold. So it looks like they're just probably going to preemptively call it for him, because I was just watching some live updates earlier, and they're saying that they're still going to be counting probably until the beginning of next week or something like that.
Yeah, I heard the same nonsense.
So let's go ahead and switch gears and I guess talk about that. So they're essentially saying that it's Well, you want it to be more like fucking Florida and faster like Florida. Well, we have, bylaws and shit like that pertain to our elections and stuff that are making it, like fucking hand audits, things like that are making it more difficult. And essentially that's what they're trying to blame as the reason for the, delays, which is essentially some fucking third world fucking bullshit. If this type of shit fucking happened in any other fucking country, if fucking Brazil had taken over a fucking week to count their votes, the UN would be fucking kicking down their fucking doors, like, no, there's some funny business going on here. But in America, or in Arizona, in California, and fucking Nevada, and these other states, apparently that's the norm. That's the new norm or something. Whatever it is.
Yeah, the ridiculous thing is that they don't count any of the early votes or mail-ins until the end of voting day. They don't start the counting on that. What is the sense of having early votes if you're not going to count them until voting day? That makes absolutely no sense. So where are they just sitting somewhere?
Right.
Like you're just, you know what I mean? Not be before they're counted. Like, I mean, and all of it seems absolutely asinine. Like you said, third world. And as far as the laws are concerned, I would like to see something that says that you just take your time counting votes. That it's not in no type of urgency whatsoever, like post haste, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you're talking about control of the state legislature here. I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
The dude did make a good point though, that doesn't really seem like any of the state legislators here in Arizona are speaking up about it. And the reason, he said, is because they know that this is the process that the Arizona legislature has put in place for elections. And come to think about it, that's kind of a good point. He did.
But he also said it was quite a bit of time ago. He said, if you remember, he was also saying that at one point he was an attorney for a Republican candidate 16 years ago, and it was a similar situation.
Right.
But then he also went on to say that the vast majority of the states in the country haven't counted all mail-in votes or early voting, and that you're only seeing these because of how close the race is, that they're not able to, declare some type of winner within the first 48 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, man. Obviously, we're not in there. We can't see exactly. And our state government is not exactly, clear about the shit that they do. Everything's in this train, bro.
Right.
I mean, it's
let's not miss the obvious grift here. They want us to fucking start screaming fraud. They want us to start fucking screaming all this and that shit. They're fucking counting on it.
Yeah, that's why they used the election denier a million times beforehand.
Right. That's why literally Katie Hobbs has been able to campaign from the basement, just saying, I'm not going to give her a bigger stage to spout her rhetoric on. That's essentially
in the campaign she's in charge of.
Right, right. That is another thing too. Katie Hobbs is Secretary of State, and she's I guess like the head of fucking the Clean Elections Committee or something like that here in Arizona. And essentially, she is the
dude. Whoa, you're bordering on cyberbullying here, man.
Right. about to catch that strike, man.
Right.
Right, but that's I mean, she was asked multiple times, to I guess fucking abandon the seat or fucking she refused. She's I don't see, why would I do that? I don't see the point of that. Like, you guys being ridiculous. You guys are all just election deniers and Nazis. That's essentially the tactic that she went. And
for sure, man. It's fucking crazy, bro.
Right. But
that's the most third world aspect, right? If it's true, like if obviously you can look and see, if there's still states counting votes like we are, as far as early balloting and whatnot, you know what I mean? The most third world part of the whole situation is the fact that she's in charge of the fucking election that she's running in.
Right.
I mean, that's
But
it would be funny if it was funny.
Right. Like fucking Joe Biden said, I find it not important as to who can vote, but who counts the votes. Counts the votes. It's about election subversion here. Like, dude, that was an actual fucking Joe Biden quote. He literally
Right.
said that. Matter of fact, I'll find the clip and throw it in. Here you go. If not, I made a meme about it. Here you go.
State legislative bodies continue to change the law, not as to who can vote, but who gets to count the vote. Count the vote. Count the vote. It's about election subversion. And the state legislative bodies continue to change the law, not as to who can vote, but who gets to count the vote. Count the vote. Count the vote. It's about election subversion, not just whether or not people get to vote. Who counts the vote?
Yeah. Yeah, fucking that's some and at the same time they're gonna sit there and tell you don't think about it. It's not real. Don't believe what don't believe the obvious fucking ruse right in front of your face. You're just fucking losing your mind. You're crazy. And it's it's obviously nobody likes to be called a liar. Nobody likes to be called anything really. So really to from the fucking president, over half the country be called fucking Nazis and fascists and fucking this and that. It's really liars and fucking election deniers and fucking we're undermining democracy and this and that. It's obviously infuriating, because clearly us over here on the right, we clearly have a grievance with the way that our government is being run, and we're just being brushed aside like no, you guys, you're just fucking Nazis and terrorists. Just go fucking back to your fucking, I don't know, your fucking farms and your, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is that they think we do.
Yeah. I mean, what's weird to think about, right? You said democracy. Obviously they've been repeating it now for about a year, right? And it's the whole convincing, or make a lie big enough, repeat it enough times, right? But the whole time, right up to the build-up of the midterms here, it was about democracy is on the ballot, right? And then so now their victory speeches is people voted to protect democracy. Like, dude, have they seriously convinced a large portion of our country that we live in a democracy?
That's the problem is they have, I mean, like down to fucking like fucking in schools and shit like that, like that's all that you're told is fucking, like we in America, we live in democracy and that's what makes America great and this and that, and it's all just fucking they just kind of brush on fucking how America is run here, and so generally for the most part, and at the same time fucking the Utes and whatnot, they're mainly just kind of focused on what's fucking popular and what kind of I guess pop culture fucking bullshit is being hung in front of their face today. But that's essentially fucking why everyone believes that we live in a fucking democracy here in America. And then of course, obviously from the fact that they sprout it constantly.
Yeah, and the youth, like you said, like you mentioned, that's who grasps onto that. That's why they keep talking about lowering the voting age to 16 and whatnot. Yeah. Because when you're young, that's it. You remember you're getting some shit. I'm gonna call my boys, or fools like I'm calling the gang. Well, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I mean, you think about it, and it's like that's the mentality of that age group. So that's why they're,
yeah.
It's pretty sickening when you realize, the mind bending game that's being played. And again, like you said, if you point it out, man, you're insane. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're an election denier.
Fucking wingnut, man.
That's an actual thing, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah. And that's what we've devolved to here in America. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Saul Alinsky. It's like to use Kamala's favorite, right? The Venn diagram, bro. You're here, and it's like Rules for Radicals, 1984. Fucking Brave New World and Fahrenheit, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the fucking truth of it, man. Fucking America. You got anything else you wanna throw on in today, man? Fucking talked about midterms. Talked about Trump.
I mean, you'd like to talk about let's get out, everybody move to alt tech. You know what I'm saying? Go to Rumble, go to BitChute, man. Let's get rid of these overlords and stop being censored and stop being told we're conspiracy theorists and cyber bullies, man, for
Yep.
speaking our minds or
Fucking
talking shit to your local fucking politician.
being guilty of wrong think and shit.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Fucking yeah. So if you guys don't already follow the Swine here, definitely follow the Swine. He is prone to YouTube bans, but definitely follow him on Alt Tech. Fucking all of both of our links are in the description below. So go ahead and check that out. Fucking we really appreciate the support. If you guys would definitely go ahead and subscribe to us on some of these Alt Tech platforms, even if you just prefer to watch us here on YouTube, or BitChute or Rumble or wherever you happen to be watching us right now. We're on all of them. So just go ahead and go ahead and show a little bit of support and just kind of subscribe to us on all platforms, just to show that the potheads over here at the Liberty family are that you support us.
All right. Like, share, subscribe, dude. Smell you later.
All right, fuck off, man.